Today is Thursday. It's right after 8:30 a.m., Thursday, July 11. And the reason I waited till 8:30, I wanted to see what this CPI data release, the Consumer Price Index data release, would do to the market. They were flat pretty much all in the pre-market until just now. They spiked up. Here are the levels. You can see them on the board. Of course, the market doesn't open for another hour. Things can change, but these are the levels for today. And this is what the pre-market is doing currently, right now at 8:33 a.m. There's a zone down here, of course, and I don't have anything. Well, I shouldn't say that. I do have levels above here. Never say never. Not saying they can't get up there, but they could do a lot today and tomorrow with these data releases and the timing and everything else we've been talking about. But we'll just take each day as it comes, and the levels are different every single day. So here we go. Here are the levels. You can see where the pre-market is up here, 562.97, moving around a little bit. So we'll come back to this chart as it is with the levels in this position after the market closes, so we can see what the price did and analyze the trades. See you then. So it's now almost 7 p.m. Decent little down day today. So we're going to talk about what would have happened if you played by the rules the entire time. I did not, but it worked out pretty well, as you'll see soon. So let's move this up so we can see everything. So after 9:45, where were they? They were high enough above this 561.69 where you could have adjusted this just to grab it as they came back down. And they popped up just enough to give a base hit. Did take this trade and got 4 points. As they're falling, and a couple other things are going on, I'm looking at a few other things, and I saw them go past a certain point, and I just jumped in. Not something I would normally do, but I jumped in, sold 2 as they were falling, and I rode that down quite a bit, even ignored this. Mostly rode it down to here, you'll see. Right now we're talking about playing by the rules. So you would have had a base hit here. When they came down into 559.98, it'd be 550 or 560.03. Let's go ahead and adjust this one as well, 559.24. You would have bought, and then they came just, let me start over here. You would have bought here at 560.03, and they came just shy of triggering a trade at 559.24. So that is a near miss. When they bounce up enough to hit a base hit, so 40 cents or 4 points in the E-minis, then that was the trade. So I'm not going to trust it again. So this is a no trade, but you're still in this trade here. You're not, you're out of the money a little bit, but it's more of a time thing here. So you could look at this as a zone, hoping they would go higher, but they didn't. In fact, I'll just put the level here, what you're looking for. The equivalent in the E-minis is 4 points, of course. So roughly here, I'll just make this green so you can see that this is the goal. You would have bought here, and that would have been your 4 points, a base hit. They didn't get it. So playing by the rules, really, if they come up within a certain amount of time or a certain distance, which here they did, it was just pennies, and within a few minutes fall away, like that was the hit, like that was the trade, well, that was essentially another near miss. But let's say you did not bail out. Like I said, I'll show you the trades. I took some screenshots of the trade I was in, and I just had a pretty good feeling they were going to go lower, so I just rode this thing down. Ignore this, but not to get too far off topic, I'll just go ahead and put another line to indicate where the fumble threshold would be, which is 40 cents below the 560.03. So I'm right there, actually. That's the number. So when they start closing candles below this on certain time frames, then after a certain amount of time, then you would reverse. And that happened when you would have been 7.5 points out of the money. So you would have lost 7.5 points on this trade here. That would have been satisfied. This was a no trade because of the near miss. So lost 7.5 points, gained 4 points as they continued to fall. Down here, there's a zone. I don't adjust the levels for a zone. They didn't get close enough to here, but these are not like precise levels when it's a zone, because really anywhere within the zone is valid for a trade, meaning it could react in the other direction. So they gave it early on. And what you'll see that I did is I essentially bought here in the middle, looking for a bounce, and I got it. But here they hit the trade, or they hit the level, 1132, bounced up for a base hit. It doesn't look like much here, but there's your 4 points, more than 4 points here. That's one trade. And then the next level, pretty easy to see. They bounce there, more than enough for a base hit on that level. So that's actually 4 base hits, then 1 fumble. So, respectable day. You would have had a handful of points. And now I'm going to show you what I did, and I'll talk through it. To set the stage, just notice that it's 10:35 almost in the morning. I had already taken this trade here. We talked about it. And as they're falling, I went short in the middle here. Not something I normally do. Wouldn't advocate that, but felt pretty good about it. And Didn't do anything to these levels. Just ignored them. I had my sights at 10 points below where I went in. You can see the difference. I'll start playing this. Just a bunch of screenshots. You can see the time every few minutes. I'm taking a screenshot as they progress. And they went down and got the 10 points with one contract right there. So now I'm short one, put a trailing stop. I'll pause this to show you what I'm doing here. So here's my trailing stop with my remaining contract, and I want to buy 3 in the middle of this zone. I did adjust this a little bit later, I think, just to kind of get it lined up right as they came down into it, whichever would happen first. And they pulled me down. So you can see they're pulling the trailing stop, kind of obscured a little bit. And they got down to this zone first, bought 3 there. So now I'm long 2. And you can see what I'm doing. I want to get my 4 points because I don't really know what they're going to do. Obviously, there's a lot of downward pressure at this point. So if they bounce, I'm happy for that. But for all I know, they might continue lower. So I just want a quick base hit. I did change that to sell 1 right here instead of 2. And so they gave me that. And then I should have been trailing 1. And I looked down, I kind of screwed something up. And essentially, I found out I was short. You saw that flash by. So I just canceled the order. I just want to get out of that. Then took a few screenshots for the rest of the day, and this is pretty much it. You can see the time, 3:42 p.m. They never came down much lower than this. That was the lowest levels, the lowest zone I had on the board for the morning, but you notice this lighter blue line identified another level that if they got down there, I was actually willing to buy a contract or 2 down there as well. But that's a non-factor because they never got down there. So just those are the trades. So I got a fair amount of points. So that, I'll just tell you right now, it was 34 points total for the day. So not a bad day. I'd just like to point out before we go to the tracking log that these levels, which were identified and put on the board and sent out to those of you who are interested to them long before the market opened. It was like an hour before the market opened, 8:30 a.m. this morning. And if you know how to trade them, I mean, you know, there's some kind of trickiness going on in some of these, but you can see how the market respected to them. And they were at all-time highs. They're coming back down into some previous areas. But anyway, so this course that I'm developing, I know it's taking a while here, but I'm trying my best to convey how I look at the market, how to identify these levels, and how to trade them and just what to look for, because you know there are reasons that I decided to just ride this thing down instead of trading these levels here. They would have worked. You would have got something out of it, but what I did gave me a lot more points than just playing by the rules, because it's kind of not that I'm making things up. It's just my way of looking at the market. So soon that should be available. But anyway, if you're curious about how to get these levels, because I am providing them, I'm willing to share what I know right now, and there's no skin off my back to send these levels out, then just go to the website I've set up. It's ticksandtrades.com. You'll see there's a page. It's the Learn page, I believe, where I talk about some of the courses that I'm developing here. And just fill the form out, provide your name and email address. I will add you to the list, and you will get these levels in the morning. So anyway, just want to point out that these, it's not, magic, but these levels, there's some science behind it. And I'm happy to share them with you. And as usual, I have 2 logs to show. The first one is the playing by the rules log, where if you strictly just treated each level with the set of rules, if X happens, then execute Y, do something or don't do something, then you would have had a base hit on the first level. You would have fumbled 7.5 points. Let me open this up so you can read the rest of it. Got reversal on we got a base hit on the reversal of this one. Wouldn't have touched 559.19 because they came up within pennies and bounced away. And you would have had a base hit on each of these levels, even independently, treating them without even a zone. But what I do is just scale in typically. And you saw what I did is I bought right in the middle because I really wasn't sure about being on the long side for too long. The short side was definitely the play today. And then this other log is what I did, which is essentially I took 4 trades and got 34 points total. It was actually 34.1250, I believe, before commissions. So I'm just rounding that down to the nearest number. So pretty good day. The timing has been pretty good lately, as we've been talking about, and I don't want to predict anything long term, but looking at the weekly chart, since tomorrow's Friday, they don't have to do a whole lot for me to, increase my bearish stance. But anyway, don't go out and start, buying puts or anything like that, because all I care about is what we do in the intraday trades. These levels are unique every single day, and they produce trades, 80% of the time. Or at least that's the number of days ending in the green. That's the way I like to track things. So, and you can see what you could get based on this is the daily averages based on number of contracts traded that you can afford to trade, and you make some money. So, thanks for watching. Hope you found this useful. Consider subscribing and liking this video. I would like some support. I'm really not getting a whole lot of notoriety yet. I'm not trying to push it on anybody. There's a lot of YouTube videos and channels out there talking about $10,000 days, $20,000 days. And I don't know, I'm not trying to be flashy or anything. It's definitely not a sexy and glamorous strategy, but it works in the long term. Just sticking to a set of rules and knowing what to do and knowing how to identify these levels. And soon you will be able to do it yourself. Anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow, one more day in the week. Thanks for watching. Have a nice evening. See you tomorrow.